And Kim, I know you got into this a little bit on your show yesterday. So I don't know if I'm going to take it to the level of seriousness that you are, but I have to admit, so a thing that we used to do, my old radio crew, shout out to WPFW, Sister Katia Stitt, all of that. And I think we're reviving it this year in December. We are going to return to WPFW for our Hate Awards. We're going to reconvene. And one of the favorite Hate Awards, I thought we would give something happened this week that just provides such a perfect example of why we do these awards. And one of our favorite awards is the Rick James Fuck Your Couch Award. Okay. Speaking of Rick James. So and Stephen A. Smith just nominated himself this week for an award because of his brilliant performance one day to the next. So if we could just start here, I just want to play just a few seconds of this so we can remind everybody, because I know there's a level of seriousness that we should probably get to with this story about John Gruden's early retirement of sorts. But but for me, it's about Stephen A. Smith and the Rick James Award. So check this out real quick.
A lot to unpack here. Stephen A., I'll start with you. What do you think should happen to John Gruden?
So I just want to quickly say this is yesterday or the day before yesterday, right? So this is the day before yesterday, right?
The chronology and all this means is very important.
Yes. Thank you, Kim. Yes.
Not a damn thing.
Oh shit.
So she's
other than what's happening. He has to stand before black men, knowing what you said. It was racially insensitive. It was irresponsible. And there are people that are going to view him as a racist now. He has to live with that.
Because he
but
said
as it pertains to
the Morris Smith has lips like a gorilla, right? Or something like that, right?
Like a Michelin tire.
Michelin tire. Thank you.
Nor should he be suspended.
Should not be fired.
He was not working for the NFL in 2011, a decade ago, when this email was when he wrote this email. I believe it was to Bruce Allen, who was running the Redskins at the time, and he was close with Bruce Allen from their days back in the day with the Raiders or whatever. But he was not with the NFL. He was working for us here at ESPN, doing Monday Night Football. And so when you take that into consideration, the fact of the matter is that I don't believe that the NFL should have any jurisdiction to do anything with him based on an email that circulated from a decade ago. If that's the case, I got news for you. There's a whole bunch of people that's in a world of trouble.
We're all in trouble.
We get to sit up here and reflect back on things that we said, or emails that we
I feel like he's worried about
may
himself.
have written from a decade ago or more. There's a whole bunch of people in this world that's going to be trouble. That's going to be in a war.
All right, so that's the day before, right? That's the day before. So when the emails came out,
there's a whole bunch of people that oh Jesus. Who was even reading emails a decade ago? Be fair, people. Shit.
But remember, at this point, the story. What's up, Kalanji? I slide in the building.
Hey man, look here. As soon as I hop on, I see Stephen A. Smith with his Ewok looking ass.
We're not done, but we're not done with him. Because check it out. Because he says. Remember when the email controversy was only at the level of what he's saying is one racist email. Nothing should happen to him.
Nothing.
Good, boss.
It's not the jurisdiction. He was running for us.
He's working for us, boss. We sick, boss.
So this is 24 hours later. All right. And here we go.
To say that this is stunning doesn't even begin to. A couple of things. One, yesterday, you weren't here. I was of the mindset that John Gruden shouldn't be fired, shouldn't be suspended, because it was one email from 2011. And then the next thing you know, this avalanche arrived last night. And you learned that it wasn't one email, but many. You learned it wasn't one email that happened in 2011. It was emails that started in like 2010 all the way to 2011, all the way to 2018. And let's get into the particulars, because before I even say all of that, let me say this. John Gruden's career is over. It's over.
You
There's certain things that
So
we are the
yesterday,
land of
nothing should
second
happen.
chances. People make mistakes all the time, and we get all of that. But I cannot imagine even a white male with influence and connections and some degree of power that can overcome what the New York Times reported and what we all now know.
Even a white man can't.
John Gruden made racially insensitive comments about DeMaurice Smith, the executive director of the Players Association. And you have a plethora of people in this country that felt that should have been enough.
That's his favorite.
Then we learned that he was against the NFL bringing in a guy like Michael Sam, saying over via emails that the commissioner should not be encouraging then Rams coach Jeff Fisher to draft queers. Then he sat up there, and after all of that, what did he say after that? He goes off, he calls the commissioner the P word. He calls the vice president of the United States the P word. He's against women being officials in the National Football League. I mean, you insulted blacks, you insulted women, you insulted folks from the gay community. The list
Wait,
just
and
went on
criticize player safety.
So now
What a
I
difference they
I
make.
know there's a debate obviously to be had, because I've seen people been pointing out the fact that Dave Chappelle is proven right by Stephen A. Smith, because once the issue was raised beyond just black people, now all of a sudden it's punishable. But for me, in my childishness in this moment, in my Rick James award, because if you remember, if people don't remember the sketch, you have to understand this is Rick James saying, I didn't put my feet on your couch, but I look like putting my feet on your. And the very next clip, yeah, I put my feet on your couch. Fuck your couch. So
Giving you
Stephen A.
niggas money.
Smith, to me, now he created a nice lane for himself, talking about the plethora of new information. But I just thought it was so funny to go from one day to the next and watch this man, So I know anyway. So I'll just leave it there. I enjoyed that thoroughly, and
You
so
know,
there it is.
Even a good white man like John Gruden
exactly.
can't overcome.
Oh, wait, no, honey, that was Mike Tirico and damn Tony Dungy on Sunday Night Football talking
Oh, I
about
bet that was
Mike
a
Tirico
mess.
talking about I worked with John Gruden for 7 years. I've never heard him use language like that. Of course, nigga.
I've never worked for John Gruden, and I could look at him. I knew he was using language like that. I was like, you can tell that's a racist cracker. You can see it all over his face.
First of all, Bruce Allen, they mentioned this in that interview a few minutes later on that segment, but Bruce Allen is the brother of George Allen, who, if anybody knows anything, son of George Allen, who the very conservative right-wing whatchamacallit of Virginia, and coming out of Virginia and former head of the football team and all this stuff, known very much to be a conservative, right winger. So this is like the idea that they would be, and then all the discussion in the emails apparently with what was it? I forgot all the businesses he was talking to, but like all these people who are clearly
the co-founder of Hooters was one of the people that was on the email chain, and the man who owns is it PCQ Chicken? Do I have that right? People who live down south and in the Southwest. I can't remember, but yes.
That sounds right. That sounds like it would be
co-founder of Hooters too. Well,
yes,
I never.
Hooters.
What a shock
Very
that he would
what
have an issue with any.
Anyway.
Oh my
Yo,
God.
Stephen A. Smith hairline looked like it went back 2 inches between that 24-hour period. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at that shit.
Snatched his own hairline back.
Man, I can't.
Real hairline.
Yeah, it's us, boss. Boss would never do that to us.
He had to go look at that $8 million or whatever salary and be like, let me find my lane in these zeros.
The real reason he got fired, you call it, what was Goodell?
Thank you.
He kept on calling him a pussy.
And an F word.
Yeah.
And an F word. Like that to me is the real reason why John Gruden is out of a job. It has nothing to do with the racist comments he made against DeMaurice Smith or the misogynistic comments he made about female referees, or even exchanging topless photos of Washington football team cheerleaders with Bruce Allen. That's not the reason he's fired. The reason he is resigned or forced to resign is because he called Roger Goodell the F word. That because he criticized the commissioner of the league and criticized the ownership And Roger and John Gruden, despite him being $100 million motherfucker, is still underneath the owners, right? And you, even in your privileged position as a white man, cannot call your bosses F words and the like. So that to me is why he is out of a job, not because of any racist, misogynistic stuff he had to say.
That sounds
He's looking at Stephen A. Smith like, shut up, nigga.
And remember, his brother Jay got caught at the end of his time with the Washington football team, his whack tenure running that team. He got caught. Remember those the photos surfaced of him drunkenly, draped over some young woman at some little college town bar or whatever, something like that. So they all seem to be just messy folks.
Crackerish.
You know what I mean? Real crackerish. Mighty white of you.
But it's so
They didn't clean up.
I mean, for Toms like Stephen A. Smith, and I've always thought Tony Dungy was a Tom. I didn't really think too much about Mike Tirico, to be honest. Like, I thought Mike Tirico was one of them proper talking Negroes that unjustly get labeled as a Tom just because, he insists on trying to speak the Queen's English. But no, Mike Tirico has earned that Tom moniker. And I don't get it. Like, is John Gruden y'all boy like that? Really? That y'all got to go out here and run public interference in defense for him for this nonsense?
I think it's defense of the institution. I think it's defense of ESPN.
I agree. Yes.
And they see again those zeros on that check, and I was even asking myself, like, how many zeros would I have to see before I started saying John Gruden ain't such a bad guy? What's the matter with you, silly
good white man who
maybe his lips did look a little Michelin-ish. I don't know.
Right. I mean, maybe he was right.
Can you tell? I can't tell.